Welcome to Gray Overload. I'm Anthony. Here we go with Unity, trying to get on their good side of customers again. And we'll take a look at what they did with the blog post and the open letter to try to make this in a better direction. I will say this, though, they have shown their hand of where they kind of want to go to, and you're going to have to make a decision if you're developing with Unity and stuff. Is this going to be some place that they're going to go down again, a path that they're going to go down again, or is it another engine you're going to have to look at? I know there's always writing software and you use libraries and stuff like this. When a company makes a change, you have to make that assessment, and it can be a tough decision on that assessment, especially if you have a lot of time invested and you have a lot of know-how and knowledge in there. So that's going to be a difficult decision. But these other engines would have a great option here to kind of come out and say, this is what we're going to do. We're not going to follow their same path, and we want to have to be able to be best support for you, so that you not only that you make money, but we also are enabling more easier access, more creative games, and everything else, the tools, with our current pricing structure, and making sure we work in partnership so that we can be successful with you as well. I think that would be a huge opportunity, but I haven't seen that yet. That doesn't mean it doesn't exist. I just haven't seen it yet. But let's jump over to the open letter here. And this is written by Mark Winton over at the Unity blog. I'll post that in the comments below. But they are, they're trying to write to the community and saying, I'm sorry. And they're trying to get that point across, right? Um, Again, this is a great point I mentioned in the last video. We should have spoken with more of you, and we should have incorporated more of your feedback before announcing the new runtime fee policy. So what's interesting here is that they say two really noted things, which is, hey, we didn't speak to enough of you, and even those that gave us a feedback, we should actually listen to that feedback. Uh, so, by the way, that's telling of probably where they plan to go to in the future. Um, maybe they will have a full remorse and be like, no, we are not going to go down this path again. But just based upon that sentence, it seems like, hey, this is where they're going to do. But they say our goal with this policy is to ensure that we continue to support you today and tomorrow, and keep deeply invested in our game engine. Um, from what I understand, there are quite a few people use Unity. I've played games on Unity Engine, and it's pretty successful. So it almost seems like you want to get more money out of that instead of. But what do I know? I'm just some dude. So, uh, but here they go on, and they talk a little bit more about what makes Unity great, um, and work hard to earn your trust. And we destroy. Oh, I forgot the sentence in here. The sentence they forgot. We destroyed it within mere 30 seconds. But we have heard your concerns, and we're making changes to this policy. We announced to address them as well. So that's a good sign, right? And they go into a little bit more about the runtime fee here, and built on Unity Personal. We'll be increasing the cap from 100,000 to 200,000, removing the requirement to make the Unity made with Unity splash screen. Um, I didn't know if that was a huge thing, right? I guess it might be. No game with less than $1 million in the trailing 12 months of revenue will be subject to a fee. For those creators on Unity Pro and Unity Enterprise, we're also making changes based on your feedback. The runtime fee policy only applies to the beginning with the next long-term servicing version of Unity. That's actually, doing retroactive stuff I don't really like, but the next main, hey, this is the long-term version of things, that makes a lot more sense. Again, hopefully give you a little bit more time to change things if you want to change directions, or at least you can start making your decisions based upon that down the road. We'll make sure that we can stay on the terms applicable for the version of Unity editor that you are using, as long as you keep using that version. For games that are subject to the runtime fee, we're giving you a choice of either 2.5% revenue share, or the calculated amount based upon the number of new people engaged with your game each month. Both these numbers are self-reported from the data you already have available. you'll always be billed with a lesser amount. So we'll want to continue build the best engine for creators. We truly love this industry, and you are the reason why. And then they go into a little bit of feedback here. And here, I'll post this as well. Here's just everything kind of laid out of where it's going to be changes. And here's all the frequently asked questions, because there's a lot of them. Now, and I will say this, I don't develop any games, so I have not used the Unity engine. Maybe that's something I get into, just to start learning the Unity engine a little bit more. Maybe not. But one thing that I do want to kind of, put out there is that, as I'm a developer myself, right? I've looked at different things, different libraries, used different third parties, etc. And those are some of the hard decisions you need to make. And that makes it kind of difficult to, I guess you're hearing the train go by. I, if you can, we'll see if you can be able to hear it. But that is one of the things that is, hey, is this still feasible now? Are the changes good enough that we can get by and we're still financially sound, right? These are the things that you're going to have to make a decision with as you go forward, and it can be hard. I hope that people that are going through and using Unity, these changes kind of put them at ease a little bit. I would be curious to know what your future plans are. Are you going to stick with the Unity engine, or are you going to change something down the line? And if you're looking at developing a game, is this something you're sticking with are you now considering the Unity engine more or less based upon what they've came out with here in recent? If I was a person looking at this, I'm probably looking elsewhere, because as much as they said support in the blog post, I didn't see it as in just a, hey, we're more committed to, with the money that you're going to give us, we're more committed to developing a better engine. I felt like more of a supporting the engine longer term. If they would have came out with, we have bigger plans for features and everything else, and we're going to roll this money up to create a much better engine, I felt like, most of this blog was just trying to do damage control and not trying to say, hey, with this, it enables us to do this, right? And those are some concerns I do have. But I would be interested, if you are a game dev and you're using Unity, reach out, or leave a comment, whatever. I'd like to hear from you guys, because I do think that this is an interesting stance that they have, and the change that they have, so that they can. It just seems like it's a progress thing to finally get to their end plan, right? And I'm sure that this runtime fee, they had an additional step after that of what else maybe they could do, you know, the, unless maybe it was a single time change. I don't know for sure, right? I'm not in the room of those decision makers. Um, and if I was, I probably wouldn't be, as a developer, I wouldn't be arguing for more money for some of these changes, especially with the runtime fee. That is um, a little bit interesting with this, especially how games are installed or paired and everything else. So yeah, that is interesting. So with that, I do leave a comment below on what you guys think about all this changes. Where do you think this is going? Do you think that they're going to just stop here or continue on? I do appreciate you guys supporting Greater Overload and helping this channel grow. Thanks so much, and until next time, God bless.